Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I want to talk about the best credit card strategy for probably 90% of people. This last year, I've been kind of on a rampage with my credit card setup, and I've opened 12 new cards. It's really been my mission the last year to understand better personal finance and investing, and credit cards is kind of this subgroup in which you got to figure it out. If you don't figure it out, you're just losing money. And after doing all the exhaustive research this last year, these are my final thoughts. These are my conclusions of what cards I would recommend personally to my family and friends. Real quick on my personal story, I opened my first credit card in 2002. All I did was go across the street from my university to the closest bank, which was a regional bank in Wisconsin called Associated Bank. I opened up a checking account, I asked for a credit card. This is what they gave me, the Associated Bank Visa Platinum credit card. It earns no rewards. So for 10 years, I earned nothing. So for your personal situation, if you're just using the credit card that you got with your local bank, it's never too late to change, and it's always a good time to optimize your spending strategy in order to save the most amount of money possible. Before we go any further, quick disclaimer, if you are carrying over a balance on any of your cards, then this strategy is not for you. Do not open additional credit cards if you're currently in credit card debt. You don't have to do any complicated math to know that if you're carrying over a balance and paying interest month to month, then the banks are making money off of you. You're not saving anything. If this is your current situation, it's not a big deal. Make a budget, spend less, earn more, get out of debt, and then start accumulating more credit cards. Now, I know there are people that are going to watch this video and disagree with what I'm saying because they might have a high annual fee credit card or a credit card that earns them points and miles, but it all comes down to your personal goals. What are your objectives? If your objectives are to take really nice trips and travel for less, then yes, earning points and miles with high annual fee credit cards is your better option. However, if your short-term goals are to pay down debt, either a car loan or student loan debt, or you're trying to save money so that you can invest, either max out your IRA, max out your 401k, save for a down payment on a house or a rental property, then no annual fee cashback cards is your only way at the end of the year to have, statistically, a higher bank account balance. Taking dream vacations with points and miles is great, but it's not going to get you out of debt, and it's not going to help you save and invest for your future. For more information on high annual fee points and miles credit cards, go ahead and watch my previous video. Okay, with that said, let's get started, and these are the 10 credit cards that I recommend people get. In my opinion, out of all the research I've done, these are the best no annual fee cashback cards that everyone has access to. In case you're curious, you don't need to have bank accounts or banking relationships with any of these banks in order to open these credit cards. These can be standalone credit cards where you just have the one card service with them. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Holy cow, this is a lot of banks. And yeah, it is a balancing act. You have to ask yourself, how many cards do I want to acquire in order to get the most cash back this year versus how much time do I want to spend managing all these accounts? Yes, you're going to have to create a username and a password for all of these banks, and once a month, log in. Ideally, you should be setting up auto pay, at least the minimum amount so that you never miss a payment. Or if you want, link it to your personal bank and checking account, whatever bank. If you want to do a local credit union, you can do that. But then link your bank account so that you automatically pay off your bill every month. We're going to start with the bottom 5 cards because in my opinion, those are the most important to get first. You might also be thinking, wow, this guy on YouTube is asking me to open 10 credit cards. That's going to destroy my credit score. And actually, no, that's not how that works. This is counterintuitive, but the more credit that you take on and that you used responsibly, the more banks are likely to trust you and offer you more credit. How your credit score will be affected is that your credit usage will decrease as your total credit amount is increased. So your score will go up a little bit in this category. Your credit history will take a hit because as you open new accounts, the average age of your credit accounts will decline. And additionally, you'll get some hard inquiries where banks check your credit score before they issue new credit. So your score in the short term will go down. However, in 6 months, the hard inquiries go away, and after 2 to 4 years, your credit history will actually improve and your score will go higher. Opening more than 10 credit cards is actually the only way to get your score above an 800, and after a decade, get it close to a perfect 850. In order to figure out how these cards optimize your cashback strategy for the year, you need to make a fake budget. So I plugged in some categories. We've got dining in or ordering food. We have groceries, we have streaming services, we have online shopping, we have travel, this is hotel and flights, we have gas, and then we have this other category. I think people underestimate how much they spend in this other category. This can be medical expenses, tuition, books, electronics, daycare services, gifts for family and friends, home furnishings, home repairs. It's easily your largest category. But this is a fake budget based on numbers that would be comparable to what I spend, and I estimate that I spend about $25,000 a year that is eligible to be paid for with credit cards. Your largest monthly expense is probably your rent or mortgage, but for this video we're going to assume that you can't use a credit card to pay your rent or mortgage. Okay, the first credit card you need to get is the Citi Double Cash card, and this is great because it has no category spend, there's nothing to track or remember. It has no spending cap either. You can put as much spend on this card as you want. It earns you 1% cash back when you buy and 1% cash back when you pay off your bill. The downside of this card is that Citi typically targets subprime lenders, so that the APR in this card is going to be terrible. But if you don't have a balance carry over month to month, then you don't need to worry about the APR. Additionally, it has a 3% foreign transaction fee, so do not use this card while traveling abroad. Let's plug in the Citi Double Cash to all of our categories, and just like magic, you will get cash back $505 this year. The next card you have to get is the Wells Fargo Propel American Express card. This card earns you the equivalent of 3% cash back on eating out, ordering in, gas stations, rideshares, transit, flights, hotels, homestays, car rentals, and popular streaming services. As a nice little extra, it also gives you a $300 sign-up bonus when you spend $3,000 in the first 3 months. This card does have no foreign transaction fee, so this is a good card to use while traveling abroad. The only downside of this card is that it's American Express, and it's not accepted as widely as Visa or MasterCard. Let's plug in the Propel card to our categories, and we get our cashback saving total up to $621. The next card I recommend, once again, if you just want the easiest, simplest setup, would be to get the Blue Cash Everyday card from American Express, and this earns you 3% cash back at US supermarkets up to $6,000 a year. This card will also give you $150 back on your first $1,000 in spend over 3 months. Downsides to this card is that it caps your grocery cashback rate at $6,000 a year. If you spend more than $6,000 a year on groceries, then it'll revert to 1% cash back, so you would want to switch cards back to the Citi Double Cash. And once again, this card is an American Express, so it's not as widely accepted, and it does have a foreign transaction fee, so don't use it while traveling abroad. Let's plug in the Blue Cash card, and our savings are up to $657. Honestly, if you want to skip the Blue Cash card because you're willing to get additional cards, there are other cards that you can use for the grocery category that might be better. The next card that I recommend to everyone is the Amazon Prime Rewards Visa Signature card, and this card is only makes sense if you shop on Amazon.com and you're an Amazon Prime member. Now, yes, the card has no annual fee. However, Amazon Prime membership is $119 a year. So only if you're already an Amazon Prime member, you 100% need to get this card. It has no spending caps, it has no foreign transaction fees, there's no sign-up bonus, but you get 5% cash back on Amazon and Whole Foods. If you don't shop on Amazon or are an Amazon Prime member, you can skip this card. But let's go ahead and plug in the Prime card into a couple of these categories. Maybe you're purchasing gifts or electronics on Amazon rather than in a store. So this can get your total savings up to $777. The next card I recommend is the Target Red card. This card has no sign-up bonus, but it also has no spending caps and no foreign transaction fee. The downside is you can only use this at Target. This is not a card that you can use anywhere else. But this card earns you 5% cash back when shopping at Target, and that honestly can't be beat for one of those big box stores. If you don't have a Target in your area or you never go to Target, then obviously you can skip this card. Target Supercenters do have grocery stores in them, so if you're willing to do your grocery shopping at Target, you can get 5% cash back on all your grocery shopping. Plug this into some of your other category for maybe home furnishing or home needs, then this can get your total savings up to $859. So the most important cards in the base that I recommend to people would be the Citi Double Cash, Wells Fargo, Blue Cash, Amazon Prime, and Red card. The next 5 cards are kind of if you really want to optimize your strategy to the max. But once again, it's a question of how many usernames and passwords, how many cards do you want to carry around. For me, this is fun, but I know this isn't for everyone. But here are the next 5. The Ducks Unlimited Cashback Card earns 5% cashback on gas and sporting goods store purchases. It doesn't have a cap on spending, there's no sign-up bonus, but there is a foreign transaction fee. This card is put out by First Bank in Omaha, and it might be dependent on where you live if you're eligible for this card. The Bank of America Cash Rewards credit card offers 3% cash back on your category of choice: gas, online shopping, dining, travel, drugstores, or home improvement furnishings. This card does cap your 3% category at $2,500 per quarter, so every 3 months. It does have a foreign transaction fee, but it does offer you a $200 sign-up bonus after a certain amount of spend in the first 3 months. The categories that might be good to get this card for that we haven't already covered is online shopping, because you can get 3% cash back on Etsy, Ticketmaster, Walmart.com, Kohl's, Macy's, Dick's Sporting Goods, Apple. So if you already make large purchases or were planning to make large purchases on any of these websites, then getting this card to get that 3% cash back is a good idea. Another category that might be useful is drugstores. You can get 3% cash back on CVS, Rite Aid, or Walgreens. If you shop at Walgreens or CVS a lot, then this is a great card. The last category that might be interesting to choose is home improvement and furnishing, because you can get 3% back at Ace Hardware, IKEA, Bed Bath & Beyond, Home Depot, Menards, Pottery Barn, which is a great category if you were planning on doing home remodeling. The next card is from US Bank, and it's the Cash Plus Visa card. And this card has no sign-up bonus. It does have a foreign transaction fee. However, this is really interesting. It lets you choose up to 2 5% cashback categories each quarter, and then caps you at $2,000 spend per quarter. So each quarter is January, February, March, April, May, June, and 45 days before that quarter starts, you can select 2 cashback categories. However, when you select them, you have to wait 3 days for them to activate. So let's go ahead and say that you were to choose the category home utilities and internet and streaming services every month. You can do this. You can just select as your 5% cashback category up to $2,000 for 3 months, the same 2 categories every quarter for the entire year. This will just get you 5% cashback savings on all your home utilities and your internet service. Some of these other categories are good. You just have to determine what you're going to spend the most amount of money on. If you're going to spend the most amount of money on fast food, then selecting fast food as your 5% cashback category every quarter is the best idea. You have to be careful with these cards though. US Bank makes their money off of people forgetting to select their category. If you don't select your category for that quarter, then you go back to earning only 1%. So you have to go on the website, you have to activate it. But yeah, if you just can remember to do this every 90 days, you will save a lot of money. The next fun card I recommend is the Discover It Cashback card. This card announces 5% cashback categories each quarter. So in 2019, for example, grocery stores was the 5% category you earned January through March, then gas stations, Uber and Lyft, then restaurants, and then Amazon.com. This card does cap how much you can earn at the 5% rate at $1,500 per quarter. It does have a foreign transaction fee, and once again, you must activate the category. You must go on the website and say, I want to earn 5% in this cashback category. Otherwise, you're only going to earn 1%. The Discover It card is actually really interesting because they will double all of your cash back for the first year, kind of as a welcome bonus. So if you use this in the category spends, restaurants, gas stations, grocery stores, you will be earning up to 10% cash back in all of these categories for the first year you have the card. The last card I recommend is the Chase Freedom credit card. Similar to the Discover It, it has 5% cash back categories that are announced by the company. You go on the website to activate it. The categories this year were gas stations, grocery stores, gas stations, department stores, and then streaming services. There are like multiple categories each quarter. It does cap your spending at $1,500 per quarter at 5%, and then beyond that, it goes to 1%. This card does have a $200 sign-up bonus after your first $500 in spend for the first 3 months, and it does have a foreign transaction fee. So you can see where I'm going with this, and that if you plug all of these cards into these different categories, on $25,000 worth of spend, you can easily save over $1,000. If you're married with a family and you have a dual income household, then potentially you're spending way more than $25,000 on credit cards, and you can easily get your total saved amount over $2,000. That's $2,000 you can use to pay down a car loan or student loan, or $2,000 that you can invest in your IRA or 401k, or $2,000 that can go towards a down payment on a house or a down payment on a rental property if you're trying to save and invest in the short term. Okay guys, that's all I got for you today. If you appreciated this video, give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment so the algorithm will know to recommend it to other people. In addition, consider subscribing to my channel. I post about military and finance topics, but really I'll just cover anything that interests me. And yeah, I appreciate you making it to this far in the video. And until the next video, take care.